Hi guys, me again. Wanted to go over just a few things regarding how my solar system that I have on my shed is wired up. This might help somebody out there, don't know. But I figured I'd go over it. So I got 3 solar panels, 300 watts, 12 volts. This green wire is connected to an earth ground. This is the actual chassis of the solar panel. Out of here, I have 3 isolation switches, which I can, I can turn it on or off to choose how many watts I want on each solar panel, etc. All 3 of these negatives, which is in black, are going to a negative bus bar. All 3 positives, are all going to a positive bus bar. Then I use 6-gauge wire to connect the negative bus bar to the negative portion of the charge controller from the panels. Negative panel connection. The positive bus bar is connected to the positive panel connection. Then you have a negative and a positive battery connection on the charge controller. So the negative comes down here. I have 2 golf cart batteries wired in series, positive to negative, for 12 volts total at 255 amp hours. Now, the negative is attached to this negative of the battery the battery side of the charge controller. Then the positive side of the charge controller going to the battery is obviously connected to the positive. So I'm actually charging 2 6-volt batteries wired in series for 12 volts. 12 volts at 255 amp hours. Now mine also has a plus and a minus load connection, which I can use to power an LED when the sun's out. Now this load is obviously limited, as my charge controller is a 30 amp. I wouldn't do more than probably 2 light bulbs. Just me personally. Yeah, people can do whatever they want. Now I also plan to take from this bar to more light bulbs during the day inside my house, so I can choose to run light bulbs during the daytime. But that's how my system is set up. Here's a general overview for people if you want to know about how solar panel configuration is wired. My wires are 12 gauge stranded. I use stranded because it's easier to... I have PVC conduit protecting my wires. The original solar panel wiring is rated for 600 volts. At 12 volts, you're going to need something like 50 panels to get up to 600 volts, or somewhere around there. Yeah. So that is just completely ridiculous. So that's why I went to 12 gauge, just standard wiring you buy at Lowe's. And it's rated for, I think, 600 volts itself. It's like standard house wiring or something. But anyway, it was stranded so I could flex it through my conduit, because I don't want my insulation being cooked by the sun on my shed roof and wind and everything. A good supplier for solar panels is windynation.com. Okay, windynation.com. Right now, it's February in my area at the date of this video. They're selling for about $114 a piece, but you get free shipping in the US. You can't build a panel for yourself for that price. Now, where I've been, and you'll read the reviews, a lot of people say, Windy Nation is cheap panels. They are cheap. What isn't cheap in America? Come on. And but I think they're made in America. So forget I said that. I'm sorry. My bad. But people say, oh, they're cheap and everything. Look, folks, I've had these panels on my shed roof for 2 years. I live in Ohio. We get wind, snow, scorching heat. We get a mixed bag of tricks when it comes to weather. These panels have survived 60-mile-an-hour winds, They've survived hail. They've survived inches of snow on top of them, and they're still working. So I don't really understand why some people are bashing Windy Nation. I am not endorsed by Windy Nation. They don't even know I exist, other than a receipt. So I'm not paid to say this, but they are good solar panels. Okay? So when you read reviews on them that, oh, they're cheap, they're junk, they're this, I don't know where these people are getting this idea, but they're not. From my opinion, they've lived through enough that I'm going to buy more from them. I mean, I can't say any more. They're still working. They provide good power. I've never had an issue with them. They're good. I mean, these people that saying, you got to buy a $300, 100 watt panel because it's name brand, you're just buying a name. Sorry. You're just buying a name. It's like Nike shoes versus, some cheap knockoff at Walmart. More than likely, they're made in the same factory in China. Doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you think matters. Well, I'm into making power, not wearing a name brand. So that's my spiel on Windy Nation solar panels. They're good solar panels, and I have bedhead. So that's just my setup. This is a random video, but since I'm into trying to educate people, I will plan on making more videos whenever I have the money to actually buy another panel, install it, and I'll walk you through the process, or I might even show you with the current panels I have. I mean, I can just show you how they're screwed into my roof. So, that's that. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.